Yeah, you've posted some stuff, I guess, on your Instagram about your body change this off season. What did you do, and uh, why did you feel it was important to get to this point?
I think I misconstrued it a lot. I think that and that's not the first time I posted body transformation. A lot of time I post this stuff is one for motivational purposes. I understand there's a lot going on as far as the whole mental health crisis and whatnot, and just people following professional athletes. So it's something I like to do for my fans and something I like to do for myself to show off my progress. And honestly, I really didn't do things too much different. I was injured. I wasn't capable of running. I wasn't able to kind of get out there and do what I was accustomed to doing. So I just put my nose in the grindstone and just attacked a little bit harder. I made some diet changes, some lifestyle changes, and I was able to get myself back in shape. And now I'm feeling good and ready to go for the season coming.
Hey, Myles. Rick mentioned in his introductory presser that he sees a way to potentially use you more as a lob threat this season. In conversations you've had with him, both in Dallas and here, how do you envision being used this year, and what kind of relationship do you have with him so far?
So far, so good. He was in Dallas, and we were able to work out together a couple times, really for a couple weeks at a time. And I think it's just a philosophy change. I think for me personally, the whole defensive approach of things has been great. It's something that I'm going to continue to do, but I want to keep continuing to showcase I'm a two-way player. I think stretching the floor, being on the perimeter, it has its ups, it has a lot of its downs as well. It's just a lot of it's being underutilized, and I think he wants to utilize me more just as a potential offensive threat this year. So the lob threats are sort of the things that he had mentioned, or just using me more, pick and roll in general. So I think it's just a matter of fact, just me being more utilized and more involved in offense, which is what I've been seeking here for a couple of years now, and I'm looking forward to it.
Bob, go ahead. Oh, sorry, he asked my question. Thank you. Olivia there.
Myles, a couple weeks here with training camp to unfold. What do you want to see from this roster? The growth, I guess. Who do you want to see come together? How should it come together in the next few weeks before the season starts?
I think it's a good question. I think in general, one advantage we have is the fact that we haven't had too big of a roster change. This group has been together. Obviously, injuries have played a part in some of the stuff we've been doing, but this roster's been together. We have a good chemistry off the floor. But we just got to continue to keep cooking on the floor. I think guys, Karras gonna have a full season. Malcolm is going to continue to build. Domas is going to continue to keep being himself, and we just got to continue to keep just fine tuning the things that that we have in front of us. Whenever T.J. Warren gets back, hopefully we'll be able to utilize him more. Off of success, coming off of when he was playing. And I think just in general, it's just a matter of just getting this time together. We were here for a week before training camp. Some of the guys 2-3 weeks, and just getting here to be able to play under this new system. So, we got to move fast. But I think in general, just having everybody together is what's going to be big for us.
You were part of the group in California, I'm assuming,
Mm-hmm.
correct? What was coming together like that? Like, I know Malcolm was the guy who spearheaded it, but how helpful do you think that's going to be? You mentioned this is a group that's been together a long time, but just getting started so much earlier out there and then coming here earlier. The method behind the madness there, and how much you think it's going to help?
I think the method behind the madness with that trip itself was a more mental thing. I think just being everybody coming together after the season that we had last season. When you come off a season where that's obviously my first experience not making the playoffs. When you come off a season where you don't do that, and you have all this time, you have a lot of time to think, a lot of time to kind of let your thoughts wander. But when you bring the group back together, the group that you're going to be going to war with in a sense, it just helps gather camaraderie early. And I think that was like what the thinking was behind that. We've done it before. A couple years ago, we had our group. We met up in Miami and kind of did something similar. But I think this one was a little different just because of the fact that it was just so sudden after the season. Usually have a little more time to kind of just decompress and whatnot. But we kind of got right back to it, and I think it was for the better.
Coach Carlisle was suggesting that there may be some creative and different and new ways to use you and Sabonis together. Can you elaborate on what he was kind of referring to, and is that kind of stimulating that he has all these maybe new or unusual ideas to maximize your guys' talents?
Well, there's only so much I can elaborate on. And I think that the proof is in the pudding in a sense. You looked at Dallas Mavericks the past 2-3 seasons. I think they were like, if not the best, at least top 3 in offense over the past couple of years, and he had lineups over there that he had to make work. And I think that's always been the burning question, here in Indiana, is me and Domas play together. From a personal standpoint, I think we can, but it's just a matter of putting the right pieces in the right place. And I'm hoping Rick has the tutelage to do that. But if his rap share has anything to say so, I think he's going to be more than capable of putting us together.
Myles, you've always talked about having those preseason goals. Do those still stand, or do you make a point now to, with a fresh start, to see how you're utilized on both ends and those sorts of things, to be more of that two-way guy, and rather than just being pigeonholed as, the shot blocker and that's it?
Right. There's always, I feel like it gets to a point in, people's careers, I'm going on year 7 now, which is, crazy to think in a sense, but, people start putting labels on you, like kind of halfway through your career, either this is what he is, this is all he ever will be. And I never want to get to that point myself. I feel like every year you're supposed to improve, and you always have time to, to grow and whatnot, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do, is just show growth and just show, that I'm more than capable of being a two-way player. And I know I am. I've done it in the past. I just got to continue to do it more at a higher level. And, with that being said, you don't do that just to, for your stats or just for, this, and that, and then the glory, in a sense, it has to lead to wins. And I think that's the biggest thing as well. We're coming off a season where we didn't make the playoffs, and that's something that shouldn't be taken lightly.
Myles, you talked about the chemistry that you guys have. I'm curious, with these rookies coming in, what conversations have you had with them, and kind of what excites you about what they'll be bringing to this roster?
Well, both of them, really. I've had a chance to, watch Chris and Isaiah both in the summer league and some of our two-way guys as well. But I think Chris is just very, I think the years that he has, he's very mature, and he already has like pro footwork, and he's even just guarding him out there, like he knows what he's doing out there. I think he's gonna be someone who's able to come in and help us right away. And even Isaiah, I feel like he wasn't able to, show everything or showcase everything he could do when he was in college. And there's a lot more to his game than I think what they saw in Kentucky. I think he was just kind of labeled as like a rim runner, a shot blocker, but there's a lot more to his game, and he's so young and has a lot of potential. And just working with him and playing with him over the past couple of days, I'm kind of excited for him because I was in a similar spot myself, coming in a year where you might be able to play, right away and be able to put your talents on display. So I think just they're both willingness to learn, and the fact that they're really easygoing. Sometimes rooks come in with a little hot-headed, or like they did their thing in college, so they think they're the hot stuff. But I don't think that's the case with these guys. I think everybody's here and ready to work.
You just mentioned all that about Isaiah, Myles, and Rick lauded his defense earlier today in this room as one of the best defenders in the league. What have you seen from Isaiah on that end so far, and how good do you feel like he can be as a defender?
I think he has the potential to be a great defender. First of all, he's athletic, about as athletic as it comes, especially for his height. That definitely has to get stronger. I mean, that's just any rookie, any transitional thing. But he can defend on the perimeter, which I was a little bit impressed by. He can go out there and switch and beat on guards in the way that today's NBA game is going. As a big, and really any position, you got to be able to do that. So I think the potential is endless. He's got to continue to work. He's got to continue to just keep, listening to those guys. And, I think the game is still moving a little fast for him, but that's to be expected for anybody coming out of college like that. So I think he has potential to do some great things.
And just to follow up on David's question about kind of your chemistry with Domas, do you prefer to do that as a starter, like to start the game together with Domas, or do you want your role to change in any way, or finish in the fourth quarter? How do you kind of feel like you mesh best with Domas?
I think all the questions is the defensive side of things. I think offensively we're both more than capable of scoring, but everybody talks about the defense and how that might affect us when teams go small and this and that. I think that's where we got to get better, is defending smaller teams, and defending like the four-quarter matchups where they switch everything and whatnot. But we also have a lot of advantages as well. So I think that's one of the things that we play well off each other, but we just need more. We need to continue to have more time to do it in a sense. I don't want my role to change in such a way where I'm not finishing games, or where I'm not utilized in a sense, but. I don't mind being, switched around. I'm the 4 this possession, I'm the 5 this possession. I got to guard the 3 this possession. I don't mind doing that because of the versatility that I have. So, I just think that for me personally, just more touches. I think anybody can say that, but, that's just part of what the game is. You have 5 20-point-a-game scorers on the floor at one time. There's only one ball to go around. So, I think we've all had great conversation with each other. I think we all had a great conversation as a starter, as a unit, talking about those sort of things, but as the ball gets rolling, as we're all competitive, you got to go with whoever's hot. And I think that's what we've done a good job going in the past as well.
Myles, how are you? First of all, how are you feeling? How long did it take you to really feel right? And what can you do to try and make yourself available for all 82 games this season?
Well, hopefully not get hurt. That'd be a great start. You know, obviously the goal is to play all 82 games, but sometimes it's not the case, you know, especially with as much mileage as we put on our bodies and whatnot. So just trying to stay as healthy as possible, continue to do the little things, the intangibles off the floor. And to go to your first question, I feel great. You know, it took me about 3-4 months, I guess, to get right from my toe. And that was just time off it. You know, in that time, I didn't necessarily stop working. It was just I wasn't able to work at the capacity that I'm used to. And I think that's what led to some of the weight gain and led to me kind of falling off track of my goals and whatnot. But I'm back on track now. You know, my body's feeling healthy. Now it's just a matter of getting the miles back up under me, just playing more games and using this preseason just to kind of get myself, you know, back in shape and whatnot.
Miles, to that, and no limitations entering training camp or anything for you? Are you all good?
Nothing I'm aware of, no.
And then what will it be like? I mean, you have your Turner's block and all that, just to have full capacity of fans once again after this last year where things didn't go so well on the home court.
I think we were definitely missing them this season. You know, the fans themselves, I mean, it brings a whole different component to the game that, you know, I think it was, I would never say it was underappreciated, but something that you just never really, that's something that you can take for granted. You know, not having them there last season was a big effect on us. You know, it's just quiet in the fourth quarter, and you just like don't have that same momentum. Even with the 25% capacity or whatever it was, it still didn't like feel right. So to be back at it's not Banker's Life anymore. What's someone? Gamebridge. Got you. Gamebridge. I just saw it like 30 minutes ago. Yeah. Shout out to Gamebridge.
Especially because last season, this is the last one, I promise. Especially because last season you didn't get to finish out, and I know you were making your case for why you should be Defensive Player of the Year. You've been feeling that way. You feel like maybe you haven't gotten the respect you deserve in that capacity. Do you feel like this is the year that can be attainable and you're going to get that respect?
I always feel that it's the year, but, you know, I just got to continue to keep building off of what I've done in the past. You know, there's times where I feel like I've done enough, and, you know, to the masses, it's not enough. So if anything, that keeps me grounded, keeps me humble in the sense where, yeah, I've done a lot, but this just isn't enough. So, you know, I'm going to continue to keep making my case, continue to keep doing what I'm doing, put the numbers up in a sense. And, you know, I feel like it's a campaigning thing as well. You know, you can put up all the numbers you want, but at the same time, you have to have the right people behind you. You have to have the right, you know, I guess leverage behind you, right? Just, I guess the wheels turn in the right way. So, you know, I'm going to continue to keep playing how I play, and I'm not going to let, you know, I guess the masses determine, like, how I'm supposed to play. That's the best way I can describe it.